Right. Hi there, everybody. Rachelle Jones, Grief Recovery. So I've had this come up here recently in the last couple of weeks, and I thought I would share it with you because I think it's valuable, as usual, or I wouldn't share it. Okay. So it's kind of, well, I mean, I guess it could be applied with people all over in any type of relationship, honestly, where we have a connection and we need to keep it a connection. We need to. It may not be easy. We don't always know what to say. Specifically, though, what I'm thinking of is with people who are older in our life. And there's just so much that can happen for the older person, right? Um, but what I noticed is, well, I'm thinking of, for example, my papa, my grandfather. There was a time where he was, before he died, the year before he died, I was aware that we were getting really close to this time in that year. And um, I found myself feeling sad, sometimes out of the moment, sort of resistant to wanting to engage because of my sadness, honestly. And just watching this happen, this aging thing happen. And it was kind of difficult for me. And there are other factors involved. So once I recognized this sort of resistance, this really tender spot inside of me, I did grief work. And I did grief work for myself so I could, find all the areas, the hot spots, the all the unfinished spots in my heart and put my energy down. So once you do the actions of the grief recovery method, it helps you put your energy down. And the big benefit of that is there's less fear, there's less resistance, there's a freedom to go forward in the ways that you want to go, that you kind of need to go, whatever it may be, right? So I will always bring it back to consider doing your own work. If you want to be the most helpful and the most effective with someone else, you've got to do your own work first. Okay. So I'm always going to bring it back to that, whether you're a specialist or not a specialist, do your own work and handle your own emotional impact of a situation. That's number one. And then number two, because I had done this work and maybe I could have arrived there without doing my work, but why? I know I'm going to do it so much better after I've done my own work and recognized my own hangups per se. So I do my own work and then I go forward. And each interaction that I'm with my papa, I have a different awareness, a different power of being in the moment. A lot of times it's just challenging. They're talking about different things, or you're like, oh my gosh, why are we talking about this again? Or why are we talking about this at all? Why is this even a big deal to you? Can't we talk about something more just different? And that can be challenging, right? But you need to be around this person. So when I do my own work, it sets my energy down. It helps me really acknowledge all the parts of where they are at this time and where they are, not where I wish they would be. That's a huge thing. And then when I'm able to set my energy down from where they are versus where I wish they would be, I'm able to just be still and present in the moment. And you know what that looks like in the moment? Not pure ease, but it looks like awareness and it looks like power and it looks like focused, intentional effort. So when I'm with my papa, when I was with my papa, he did die that next year. But when I was with him, I kind of would know either he's going to be quiet or he didn't know how to engage. He would talk, but it was different stuff. So I knew how to talk with him directly. And I might ask, doing my own grief work gave me a greater awareness of curiosity in different directions. Wait a minute, he's got a whole life and he's walking up to death. I mean, sure, any of us could be at any moment, but he really was closer, technically, based on his health status. And so I could start to realize, oh, wait a minute, what's it like to face death? I mean, really, What are you going to miss, Papa? What are you sad about? Hi, Jean. We're talking about kind of the freedom that we have when we are available, when we do our own work, and the availability it gives us to have to grow our curiosity and expand it, expand our awareness, expand our curiosity, expand our presence with another person. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. And I was using this example of my papa, for when he died, or before he died, I was able to really just realize, wait a minute, he's about to die. I was able to be curious about, wait, what's that like for you? Well, what are you going to miss? And I didn't say, what is it like for you to know that you're going to die? But I might have said, I said, hey, Papa, I would just ask him specific questions about his childhood. Okay, what was your favorite friend when you were growing up? Huh, what did you like about that friend? And it's going to start telling me things about him and his heart. How about your favorite teacher? Do you remember any teachers about, what was that like? And what'd you play at school? And what were the games at school? What were the big sports of the time? Did you play any sports? I don't know. Is my papa a sports star and I didn't know? It allowed me to say, okay, Pops, because you were in the time of the cool cars. So what kind of car did you drive? What was your first, when did you start driving? And what kind of, because he grew up in the fields, as far as I know, in Kansas, I believe. So wait, when did you start driving? Okay, how about officially? What was your first vehicle that you would drive? What kinds of things did you do for fun? Did you go to the movies? And so I'm not just giving him 20 questions. Each time he would give me a response, I would really pause and be in that one. So if I would say, Papa, when did you start driving? Well, I've been driving the tractor for, however long. Ah, so like, how did you learn that? Is it something where you just are tossed on and you figure it out, or? And then he would talk about that thing, and I would just kind of sit with that. And that would lead to the next wonder of, well, when did you start driving officially? Oh, officially it was this age, as it was different back in the day. And oh, I didn't know that. That is very different. I'd say kind of scary, but not really, because I guess you've been driving longer than most kids I know of when they start getting their license. What kind of car did you drive? What was your first vehicle? Oh, okay. Okay, so of all the cars you've had in your lifetime, which one was your favorite? Oh, it was. And you see, what I'm doing is I'm letting him walk back through moments that are important to him. I'm by my inquiries, by my curiosity, and it's not a 20 question feel. It's a open up your life feel, but because there's gentleness, there's curiosity, I'm controlling the conversation, even though I'm not a control freak. I'm not trying to necessarily control it, but instead of sitting there with this heavy energy of knowing that this person's going to die, that they probably got all their fears about the situation, about the death, when's it going to come, how much longer do I have, let me, and then it brings up all these, the ailments and the health issues and the medications and all the things, which could be really uncomfortable for you and that person. And they can't really see beyond. This is typical of grievers. We can't really always see beyond our current moment. And so I'm going to walk people through their different memories, their different experiences that are beyond this moment. And I'm doing it out of care, and I'm doing it out of love, because haven't you ever had like a huge argument, let's say, or a huge disagreement with a friend or a romantic partner, and as far as you know, it seems like it's over, it's done, and all you could see is this heartache. What they said that hurt you, what you said that hurt them, that's all you could see is right here, what's in front of your eyes and in front of your nose. And so the point of sort of doing your own work is allows you to see beyond that moment. And there's so much more to a relationship. Like, well, when did you first meet? Well, what are some of the experiences you've had together? Well, what did that look like? What was one of your favorites? So I kind of go broad and then I pinpoint in, listen, ask a few questions, go broad, pinpoint in, listen, ask a few questions. And so this could be helpful with anybody. A young widow, someone going through a divorce or a breakup of a romantic relationship, someone who's recently lost their job, someone who's recently had a health change and a big injury. You can go broad and then ask a few questions. You can show curiosity, but doing your own grief work really gives you a greater amount of flexibility, a greater amount of just comfort in the discomfort. And then it becomes comfortable because you're doing something good. Your soul knows when you see someone else light up about their favorite car, or, okay, what was your favorite date? What did that look like? What was dating like at that time? So do you see how it can give you can have a curiosity, you can grow the narrative. And so I think a lot of times, when we're with especially older people, we have an expectation built inside of us very often that that they should be beyond us, that they should know better than we do, they should know more than we do, they should basically be normal. And I put that in air quotes because it's our version of normal. Everyone's got a different one, every moment's different, unique. And but usually when we're thinking that someone should be more normal, we really mean something that we feel is more normal. And that might be different for them based on what's going on in their heart and mind and in their life, whatever their experience is. So this is a way for you to sort of switch the direction, change the narrative, be present in a new and different and really effective way, and help someone else. So anytime you are helping someone else walk through moments, I mean, truly walk through moments of their life and their memories, and they get to recall some things that felt good, and maybe in all of that talking they're talking about things that didn't feel good as well, but it all sort of meshes together in this really beautiful moment. And that's actually sips of recovery. You're giving someone else sips of recovery. So whatever fear, sadness, worry has someone stuck in what their experiences right here, right now, by finding these gentle ways to get them to engage in conversation, get them to engage in going back, pulling something out, knowing that it's going to be heard, received. You're helping them actively participate in part of their recovery, whatever that's going to look like. It won't be, a full recovery, but sips of recovery are better than none at all, right? Living alone, scared, worried, sad about their life and what it is, and possibly looking at the end of it soon, is awful. So what if there's a way to help them have sips of feeling a little better? And this would be definitely something to consider to help you in the moment and them. There is this huge energy. We can't change someone's fate. So as long as they are able to talk and able to think and communicate, consider this to help you go forward. Can you have curiosity about something other than this exact moment? And what is that curiosity? We don't know everything about someone, so you might as well ask. And if they feel safe, they'll share some things. And if they don't feel safe about others, they won't. You'll have to trust that people will tell you the truth about what feels right for them and what doesn't, as far as, conversation and communication with a grown adult who's able to, I honestly do the same thing with kids. What does a date look like nowadays? Interesting. That is so different than what it was when I was young and dating. If we can look at one another with curiosity, it gives us a lot of stillness and a lot of power, a lot of connection, a lot of love. Those are loving moments. So I hope that helps you as you're going forward in your life, in situations that don't seem like they're going to feel super great. Gives you a little bit of clarity and power of how to change the direction, or you're in a family group or family situation, even a friend situation, and it constantly goes in the same direction. And you're like, what's this? Are we ever going to change the direction of conversation? Maybe a conversation comes up about politics or something that you don't feel comfortable talking aloud. Religion and politics, those are usually the two people feel pretty uncomfortable to just dive into. So these would be some ways. Find something that makes you think of something else and go there, and then have a conversation about that. You can expand so much beyond what's present in this moment if you just give yourself a little permission. Maybe take a little bit of awareness, you're welcome, and a little bit of willingness and courage to try new things. Hey, that's a great combination. That's a good cocktail right there. And I hope that it serves you well and gives you sips of connection, sips of love, sips of courage, sips of recovery together. I'll talk with you all next time. Bye, everybody.